All right, and we're back as promised. Like we said in the last one, we are moving on to Dan Bongino, who says that Trump should stay in jail. Now, I haven't heard any of this.
He's suggesting a voluntary not posting of bond just to muck up the system and to kind of make them deal with it. Make them deal with it. Yeah, Secret Service.
Okay.
Yes, Secret
well,
Service.
So there's a tweet in here that he talks about this, right?
Yep,
right here.
2 minutes. Yep, let's do it.
All right, let's check this out. I'm gonna try to minimize the pauses.
Is that the right one? Let me see there. Okay.
I think so. Makes a great point on why it might be a good idea for President Trump not to post bail. Okay. Off the top, my initial feelings are like, dude, that doesn't sound right. That does not sound right. But let's hear I want to hear him out. Let's see.
Folks, I don't think the Trump team should post the bond. I don't. This may sound like a crazy idea, but folks, we're living in crazy times. And crazy times require different, crazy, bold approaches. Fannie Willis wants to be a smart-ass tyrant, little socialist communist like she is down in Fulton County, Georgia. Don't post. Don't post the bond. You know, jail him? Let's elect our first political prisoner. Go ahead. Go to jail. Let the Secret Service shut the entire jail down, and we'll see how long you're willing to keep this charade going. Let them put him in jail for a bit. Folks, I know it sounds crazy. Let the Secret Service shut that entire floor down, because remember, Title 18 USC 3056, and I believe 1752, the Secret Service has the absolute federal authority, the supremacy clause. They can declare anything a federally protected area, even a prison cell. They can clear out that entire wing of the prison and make sure Donald Trump never sees another human being in that prison other than the Secret Service. I wouldn't post.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's got more to say, but interesting. Very interesting take, because, he would just shut down the entire prison. Especially to avoid, that way you're not going to have an Epstein situation. It also gives people a point to go to so that they can protest, which maybe he'll make that point too, that people can rally around. People can rally around that prison, and it would just muck up the whole system.
Right. He does mention, I'm not sure if in this clip or not, but he does mention also that, hey, we should be in there and we should be protesting outside the building every single day. Like all of his supporters and things. So
let's keep this one going then.
You may think it's a crazy idea. I don't think so. Folks, you've seen people around the world take a stand like this, and it's easy for me to say, I get it. I wouldn't be the one in a prison cell. But you want to send a message? Let's see. Let's see what happens. We should hold protests outside of that prison cell every single day. Don't post. Don't post the bond. Make them put you in jail. And make them show America their asses and show America who they really are. And let's see how long this lasts. Folks, I think the F around and find out. The time is long since passed.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting concept.
And he would do it. I know his personality really well, and I don't listen to his show very often, but I've listened to it enough to know that if this were him, that's what he would do. He's not just talking out of his butt. He's done a lot of things like this where he just like he could be way more successful on like Fox News when he was there, and like he basically just decided to not. I'm just not doing what you want me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna be difficult. Sorry. And then eventually they didn't renew his contract, but it's because he's not playing ball. I'm doing what I'm gonna do, and you guys you can like it or not like it.
I think that's actually a really interesting concept. Put him in jail and see what. Here he is in jail. I mean, he could post bond, he could post bail, but here he is in jail. That gives his supporters something to rally around. Is he? Tell me that's not election interference. Yeah, this is a, like it. The whole thing, like they would effectively. I would feel like in a sense they'd have to almost just be like, look, we got to just drop all this stuff. This is nonsense. He's taken up this whole wing of the prison. We got protests that are outside. This is a really bad look for America. You can't be throwing presidents in jail and they're stuck there, quote unquote stuck, because he could post bail, but $200,000 to just to get out. It would be a bold move. It would be a bold move. It would take him off the campaign. I'm sure he would still be able to have his phone. He could still post whatever videos he wants or messages or anything like that. He could still have visitors. He could have a whole campaign from jail. I mean, that would be an incredible. Tucker does an in jail interview, right? Like it could be wild ride, and he could be like, "This is what they've done. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing."
It wouldn't, there would be, there is a question of would the Secret Service shut the whole wing down, though?
I think that they probably, I mean, based off of him, like, it wouldn't it be, I feel like it would be like upon Trump's request, like, hey, you can't set, like, stick me here with other people who are criminals, who are violent criminals. And
you protect
you have to protect the president, and he has to be able to get out, he has to be able to go eat, he has to be able to shower, and like you can't have, he has to be able to have his privacy in specific, he has to be able, he has to be able to go into the bathroom on his own with and take a crap, without the chance of somebody stabbing him, right? So in effect you probably would have to shut down the whole wing.
So it's a fun idea, but I
don't think he's gonna do it.
No, he already hasn't done it. He's already posted bond at this point.
Okay.
He went in like an hour ago when we had this mugshot, and he did all that stuff, and as far as I know, he's out.
Yeah.
But this video itself is already it's a very good call to action in general.
Yeah.
It's more of a perspective. It's a perspective that he's putting on people, and it bolsters people. Whether Trump did this or not, it makes you feel like that, right? It still makes you feel like that level of defiance is necessary. And so that's so this is a useful video, even though that's not going to happen specifically. It's a fun thought device, and it's also useful.
It's kind of it's a sobering message, kind of like, wow, like this, like they really did it, like they really got this far, to where he actually gets his mugshot and he gets put in prison or in jail. Obviously he posts bail, but like if he doesn't post bail, that's where he would be. And how comfortable are people with that? And I'm sure that there's the TDS Trump haters who are celebrating and they're super happy and excited about it. But honestly, it sets such a terrible precedent, and especially for something like this, where you have to have this RICO, you have to use a RICO Act on politics, and it's like, whoa, dude, like this is getting out of hand. I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I think the chances are a lot of the public are kind of like, dude, this is getting a little too far. It's just the TDS people who are out there celebrating because they hate the guy. When I have conversations and talk about it with other people, it's like, well, he had these documents. He had these documents, and he He tried to tell people, tried to tell the governor of Georgia or whatever, find the votes, and that's something that's like a mobster thing, it's a mobster, and it's like, dude, this is all interpretation. It none of this stuff even comes across as realistically valid to, I think, probably normally minded people. She shouldn't be, and I wonder what his sentence would even be.
I mean,
I got a message. The other day from like retired something or other. It's like retired Republicans or whatever it is. I don't even think it was that. Or retiredamericans.com or whatever they are. And they said, would you want to watch the Trump trial on TV? So it's like this could even turn into like, hey, here's the trial. Yeah, it's like, here's it now. We're gonna go through this whole and then are we gonna is that something that we're actually gonna be seeing? This is gonna be a Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial where they go through, and I almost feel like you almost would have to broadcast it, because to do it in the privacy of the court, when the people want to see and they want to know, because this is in a sense like, okay, I wouldn't be comfortable with, there being it being a banana like a banana court or whatever they call it.
Banana Republic.
It's a kangaroo court, and we don't get to see any of it. And it's like, and through this terribly brought through process, like if you really want to make the case, make the case, put your evidence in front of the public, run the trial in public, convince the American people, because I mean, sure, it goes down to a jury or whatever, but really you're going to kind of have to convince the American people. Otherwise, I feel like to some degree this is kind of just like the start of it.
The procedure that you're supposed to use versus presidents has been done in the sense that he has been impeached, or the process has happened, or they try to. So it's been unsuccessful, and normally you have to. That's the method of dealing with presidents, and if that's successful, then they go on to the criminal and the civil cases.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't get that threshold in the first place, this other stuff is not really supposed to happen quite like that.
I don't think that this stuff is going to end up sticking. I think that he's going to be let off, either, if not necessarily let off, but found not guilty, or they're just going to quit. They're just going to stop. But honestly, they're probably not going to want to stop, because if they're going this far, like, why would they? Like, this is the pathway to their goal, right? So I think they're gonna just keep on pushing through with this. The election, I mean, they got roughly a year and a half to run through this process. And then there's probably more. Like, if this one doesn't work, they can set him up on another one, and another one, and another one.
I don't know if they have more. I think this is.
Isn't there another state?
Oh, they could do.
He could have done this for any other state. There was Michigan he could have done it for. There was Arizona that he could have done it for. Maybe even Nevada. I mean, there's.
Yeah.
It's just hey, you know what? He said this thing about this other election, this county over here, so we're gonna go after him. And it's like, it's crazy. It's just a waterfall effect with no end, and they can just, oh, here's something, bloop 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 bloop. And the crazy thing is like, this is probably what they would be aiming to do once again if he gets in. They're just it's just going to be, hey, we're not going to stop coming at you. It's just going to be this over and over and over again.
They keep doing it. Yeah.
And that's where I think that if he were to get into to be president again, I think he should just be like, look, I'm pulling a Joe Biden. I'm not present. Like, I'm out doing the work. I'm doing what I need to do, but you guys don't even need to know about any of it.
While he's president, he wouldn't even have to really, he'd be protected from having to do trial and things. Like if they can't,
well, he could just pardon himself.
Maybe, but if they're federal charges, maybe it's never been done, so it'll be challenged, and then that'll be a thing, right? The whole challenge process will be a thing. So it doesn't matter, whatever you say, until this man expires of old age, this will happen.
This is absolutely madness.
Like, you will get this for the rest of our lives.
It's crazy. This whole thing is crazy. But I would be interested for him to run this gambit. You know, I think it more or less worked for Andrew Tate, him going into prison. You know, that got a lot of people to be like, dude, what the heck is wrong? What is going on in this system?
When you're old,
you don't have the time for it.
Well, he doesn't have the time for it, but also, I'm certain that he has a lot of luxuries that allow him to maintain a level of comfort and a level of just even in the Metamucil or whatever that he can take regularly, you know, like when you're in prison and even not having access to, who knows, a toilet that is too tall or too short. I'm thinking old guys, right? As you get old, he's veer out in all different ways. You have like that, him being in prison is more than just like a young guy, you can sleep on the floor or whatever, you can do this. But you get older, like you start, even though he's got some fight in him, if he's not in his perfect bed, his manicured his awesome coattails,
it's gonna take a toll on you.
It's gonna take a bigger toll on him because his body just can't deal with it.
Well, I mean, you could even mentally, I think, you can even look at somebody like Andrew Tate. You know, he even talks about it a little bit. He's like, it's rough. You know, in that kind of a situation, for months and months and months on end. So, I think he'll beat this thing, and I think he's going to be going down in history as probably one of the greatest presidents in history and one of the most persecuted presidents in history. And that kind of seems to be an ongoing trend with some of the greats in this world. I mean, you look at pretty much all of the greats, you know, they've all been largely persecuted or
so I don't see him as the greatest. I don't see him as eventually going down. I think he's definitely gonna be controversial, and he definitely was the leader in certain ideas, or like the revolution of like the fake news idea and like the deep state, and just like I don't know about.
I think when you look at his policies,
in terms of impact on like he'll have a historical impact on policy forever, like unrivaled, right? The impact that he has. But
well, his accomplishments in office are staggering, and he outpaces and outdoes most presidents.
What I'm saying is,
in accomplishments,
history, because the accomplishments that he achieved, some people would look at and say, those aren't accomplishments, those are horrible things that happened, and they're going to label them as bad, right? So it depends on who writes the history. So I don't know if he's going to be considered great. He's definitely going to be one of the most impactful and the most game-changing presidents that have ever happened.
Yeah,
depending on who writes the history book as to whether or not he's one of the greatest or not.
I mean, I guess we'll see. Only time will tell, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think we should call it.
Sure.
All right, hit that like button, drop a subscribe, tap that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell notification so that you can get updated when we drop another one. All right, you guys, take it easy.